Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Switch. We're in the second full week of October, 12th until the 16th, Monday to Friday. Retail low prints and imports, plus our community spotlight where you show off your pickups and potentially win a physical Switch game. This month, we're giving away a choice of 3 games. More on that later. Alright, let's take a look. This week is massive. Remothered Broken Porcelain is the second Remothered game to hit the Switch. This entry continues the story of the first game, or perhaps a prequel is a better term, as it promises to look into the characters you knew in the first game, introducing new gameplay elements. Hopefully this is a smoother experience on the Switch than the first game was. So this is available physically, as is the first game, but Japan is getting a slightly cooler option if you didn't get the first game already. There's gonna be a double pack in Japan coming December. Both games together in one release. They have English too. It might actually be a better option for some, especially for me. If you want to import that, then there are links below in the description with the discount code for you. The Persistence is finally getting its US release this week. I know I've mentioned this quite a lot before, but I think finally, this week really is the week, I think. I got my hands on the European version, which in all honesty, I find the box art fantastic, especially in person. It has a really cool sci-fi vibe to it, and it really stands out amongst the crowd, but in a good way. This game is an interesting mix of both first-person shooting, horror, and rogue-like elements, where you keep wanting to have just one more go. Juan gave this a positive review for the channel, and it's worth checking out for a more in-depth look. Personally, I'm really happy to have this in my collection. Sci-fi, horror, yes please. Where's Dead Space, EA? Prinny 1 and 2 Exploded and Reloaded is a double pack of old PSP games ported to the Switch. If you want a more in-depth look, then be sure to check out the video review that Jason wrote for us last week. But if you don't have time, these are 2 very hardcore action platformers, brutally difficult, but a lot of fun if you don't end up throwing your controller against the wall. The physical release comes in a slightly little collector's edition, hence the full price for 2 $20 games. Looks nice, and I definitely consider it. And this is Jonathan Rumor's Pick of the Week. Mario Kart Live may not be a proper physical since the game is just a free download, but you can't play anything without the physical remote control car. This looks incredibly inventive, although I'm not entirely sure of its sales potential, a crossover of audiences, but I'm sure it'll do better than Labo did as one of Nintendo's latest experiments. Literally augmented reality Mario Kart looks like you'll have a lot of fun with kids, just prepare to have a lot of money to pay for everything that you need. Robotics Notes double pack are 2 games in one. Robotics Notes Elite and Dash, very sci-fi infused, is part of the Steins Gate series, hence the weird use of the semicolon. Both of the games are supposedly well regarded, but you know me, I'm not the biggest expert on visual novels, so don't take my word 100% on that one. G.I Joe Operation Blackout is a licensed tie-in game of the popular 80s cartoon. You have a campaign mode across 17 missions with 12 characters from the series and plenty of weapons to boot. There's also quite a focus on multiplayer with local co-op or competitive modes. I know a lot of 40-year-olds probably got excited about this one, and it could be good, it could be, but then you look at the publisher, Game Mill, and you have to get your expectations in check. At least it's not outright games. Kunai is getting its physical release in Europe this week. I suspect Limited Run are or will be sending out the US version soon enough. But yeah, this is a fabulous Metroidvania style game that Juan was a big fan of when he reviewed it digitally. You should check out his review for that. But yeah, in Europe this comes in a nice sleeve case with a sticker set and pin, which is a nice touch. Box art is pretty nice too. And Kunai is Dane Wilkinson's Pick of the Week. My Universe School Teacher. Do I really need to say much about this game? The fact that they couldn't even be asked to make a trailer for it kind of tells you all you need to know. No trailer, complete trash. But you knew that already. This is the EU release this week. US people, you'll be heartbroken to know that you'll have to wait a few more weeks for this one. 9 Monkeys of Shaolin looks to be a European-only physical game, at least in retail. This is a cool-looking side-scrolling action game. Beat-em-ups are making a comeback, and hopefully this can live up to the likes of Streets of Rage 4 and River City Girls. I've got to get this one. It mentions Shaolin, which is pretty much on my doorstep, just a couple of hours drive from me. I like the fact that it's in 3D, looks rather smooth in its art style. Hopefully it runs well on the Switch. Zoids Wildblast Unleashed is the latest game in the popular Japanese franchise, but as far as I know, maybe the first to make it to the West? I don't know. Anyways, it's a 1v1 mech battle game, as you control many of the iconic characters in the franchise. It looks to be a simple arena brawler, but I'm sure mech fans will find something to like. In the West, this is being published by Outright Games, which is always a bad sign, but I think they just license to publish it rather than having anything to do with development, so there is some hope there. Race with Ryan Road Trip is the sequel literally no one asked for, but apparently the first game sold so well it warranted a sequel. I don't think I've ever seen the original in the spotlight, so I find that hard to believe. I assumed you were all hardcore Ryan fans. Whoever he is, absolute trash of the highest order. Go Go Power Rangers! Battle for the Grid is a release that probably made a lot of limited run collectors wince. This was priced at $60, one of their highest ever, but now it's getting a somewhat budgeted release at retail with more content on it. Yeah, so it's cheaper and has more content. All of Season 1 pass is on the cartridge, not Season 2 though, so it's not complete, just slightly more complete. Anyways, this is supposedly a pretty good fighting game, surprising considering the source material, but I know people are big fans of this, but not fans of the DLC practices. And just a quick shout out to both Tin and Kuna, which should be releasing in Europe this week, and Sayonara Wild Hearts, which I've mentioned so many times, I cannot be asked to talk about it again. It should definitely be out this week. Alright, Low Prince, Ion Fury is Limited Run's latest distribution effort. This has been available in Europe for quite a while now, but finally North America peeps can get their hands on a copy via the Limited Run. It includes a pretty cool new cover art. This is a badass game, very well received, and will no doubt be a big seller. Only issue for me is that it doesn't include any of the patches that the European version has since received. Not sure what's going on there, but it is what it is. October 13th, pre-orders open. And this is Gannicus's Pick of the Week. And at the time of writing, that seems to be all in the low print circles this week, unless I'm missing something massively, I don't know. But what I do know is that Red Art Games are going to announce their next game tomorrow on Tuesday. And I have to say, it's probably their best game yet. I think many people are going to be excited about this one. Sadly, I am not allowed to say what it is. I want to tell you, but I can't. But you can keep an eye out for their announcement on their Twitter page. I'll talk about it next week for sure, but just remember that if you want to order it when it goes live on Tuesday, we have a discount code for their website. So it's not an affiliate or anything, just a bonus for you for 10% off. Yeah, if you use the code SWATCH10, all one word, SWATCH10, you can get 10% off everything on their website, everything. And that's usable up to 10 times. And I think a good few of you are going to need this code for their next release on Tuesday. Stay tuned. Alright, let's jump into the imports this week. It's a biggie. Oh god, it's a biggie. Just remember that if any of them take your fancy and you'd like to import them for yourself, then there are import links below in the description and the pinned comment. It helps support this little series especially. It would not be what it is without you guys and your support through these links. So thank you so much. Plus, in return, if you use our links, you can get a nice 5% off your order if you use the coupon code SwitchWatchTV while checking out. That's all one word, SwitchWatchTV, while checking out for 5% off your order, and you can support us at the same time. It's a massive week for imports, massive week for emptying my wallet. Hardcore Mecha is a badass one. This is a side-scrolling action game with mechs. There's some great looking artwork and animation going on here, and I've played it and I really enjoyed it so far. It's pretty simple, but they nailed the feel of mech action in a small space. Plenty of weapons, nice skilled movement, and it feels so visceral. Cutscene transitions feel so good. It's just badass. This is releasing in Japan and Asia physically, both of which have English, and you even get an order bonus for the multiplayer part of the game, which is pretty cool too. Now, I'm very confident that this is going to get a low print release in the future for the West, so you may want to hold off importing, but this is out this week. It will be quite a while before we see a Western release, so up to you if you want to play the waiting game. Personally, I'm not going to wait. I'm getting this import, and Hardcore Mecha is God of Resin's Pick of the Week. Moon! Yes, one of my games of the year so far is getting a physical release in Japan this week, and I could not be happier. This is coined as an anti-RPG, but it's basically an old-school adventure game, as you follow in the footsteps of a supposed hero as you pick up the pieces of the carnage that he causes and save the animals he slays. You also help the people of the town and the world, and it's just so goddamn, warm and fuzzy. A bit obtuse these days, but like I said, one of my favorite games of the year. I absolutely absolutely loved it. Now, the Japanese release has finally been confirmed to have English. Hallelujah! In this premium edition, you get behind-the-scenes documents like concept art, theater card guides, and a voice-over CD. Not the best collector's edition out there, especially for non-Japanese speakers, but it is what it is. I assume that this is going to get a Western release by a limited run at some point in the future. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they announce it pretty soon. I don't know, but that's not confirmed. I'm just guessing. Personally, I'd prefer to get this Japanese one any day over limited run. And Moon is Brent McLean's pick of the week. Good man. TouHou Spell Bubble has got its grips on me, oddly enough. I love weird-ass Asian exclusive physicals once in a while, and this is ticking all my boxes. This is a game similar to Bust a Move or Puzzle Bubble, however, it is infused with the TouHou franchise. Apparently it promises rhythm action too, which I'm intrigued about how that fits in with the gameplay. Anyways, this physical is exclusive to Asia and has English on the cartridge. There's a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, which I ordered myself. In it you get a special box, magnet lenticular card, art book, and, the best of all, a blanket. What collector's edition is complete without a blanket? Yomi was Saku Hana could easily have been the best badass import of the week, but for one thing, the lack of English. Yeah, dungeon crawling RPG with a feudal Japanese setting. Sign me up, boy. But yeah, no English. And I'm not entirely sure there ever will be, but we can hope. Alright, let's jump into the Let's Get Physical community spotlight where you show off your pickups and potentially win a physical Switch game at the end of the month. And this month, you've got one of three choices. You know I like weird, obscure stuff, and you can choose between Flashback, Tales of the Tiny Planet, and the Physicals legend, Helmet. Alright. Let's start with me. Last week, I got a nice delivery of Death Squared. This is a very recent release from One Print Games, the low print company from Japan. This is a fantastic co-op puzzle game where up to 4 people can work together to solve puzzles by moving cubes. That sounds bland, but in action it's a lot of fun and draws comparisons to something like Overcooked, where you may end up causing family arguments. Christmas is drawing ever closer, guys, so this may be the one to start the fireworks off. This comes in 2 editions. On One Print's website, oneprintgames.com, they have an exclusive collector's set. Comes with a manual, acrylic keychain, a sticker, and authenticity card. There are 1,500 copies available from oneprintgames.com. If you don't want the extra stuff, then there is a small batch of standard releases available in places such as Play Asia. You can get this yourself if you want to use our links and code. For some reason, at the time of writing, it's slightly more expensive than buying the collector's edition without the discount code at least. Alright, onto you lot. Visipon got in a top-tier visual novel for the Switch, the Japanese release of Clannad, which does have English, as you can see. I have not played this myself, but I've not heard a single bad word said about it. Supposedly one of the best visual novels ever. Streaming on the Corner also got in a visual novel action with some darkly horror-themed ones. I do plan on adding these to my collection at some point, especially the Spirit Hunter ones. Adam Kadaskilo sent in a bit of a bargain, 4 games in one package. Sure, the first 3 games are downloads, but still can't complain too much. Lots of quality in one box. J-Tin showed off his card cases with the very juicy cartridges, so satisfying seeing them all like that. Jay Frosty showed off some fine releases. Air Missions Hind is currently an exclusive to Asia and Japan, and it does have English on the cartridge. I did hope to be able to review this one, but I just did not have the time. I think Nicholas may be releasing this at some point physically in the West, but nothing has been confirmed as far as I know. Lars showed off his Tetris 99 purchase since it was a decent way to get online membership with a nice cartridge too. Fun to see the instructions for Tetris as the inner artwork. Pumpkin's got some fine Disgaea additions to their collection. These are 2 great games that will last you countless of hours if you're into strategy. Chris Hepburn showed off these fine third-party controllers, plus new Super Lucky's Tale, which he got for a bit of a bargain. Great 3D platformer. Steven665 sent in this photo of some imports, plus recent titles such as Untitled Goose Game and Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Not seeing too many people with this one, perhaps because the US did not get the physical, only Europe and Japan, but those have English, so North American dudes may want to look into it. Harsh Vard and Sapro sent in this photo with some very sought-after releases. Retro City Rampage at one time fetched ridiculous prices since a lot of collectors missed out on this one. I think it's come down since, but still a collector's item for sure. I also showed off some fine games including in the incredible Moro, gorgeous box art for the weeb in us all. Park Ranger got in the fine-looking Xenocrisis. Love the artwork for this, primarily since the last there kind of reminds me of old-school Jill Valentine. Love that style. Avery Brown sent in some fine visual novels, including Tomoyo After It's a Wonderful Life, which is the sequel to the masterpiece Clannad, a game I just mentioned recently. This Japanese release also has English. Graham N sent in this Eye Dazzler, and these are all recent pickups, all arriving pretty much at the same time, which is insane. Look at that Captain Tsubasa, that is mental. And also some more obscure recent stuff in there, like Bounty Battle, House Flipper, Ari Inertial Drift, and Rolling Sky Collection. This is awesome, I love it. Bunny Voidstrom got in Atelier Riser and strapped it up good, which they should do because of the value of this thing. Raptors, many thanks for using our code to purchase these games from PlayAsia. The game on the top left is Nanpuri 10,000, a puzzle game pack, 4 games in 1. 3 of those games have English, so it's one for puzzle fans to enjoy if you like Sudoku and Picross and stuff like that. Santa Tartaruga showed off the very underappreciated JRPG Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I seriously think this is one of the best games on the system, and all JRPG fans should own it. H&F, along with a few others, took umbrage to the fact that I didn't quite get the point of Otami visual novels. Well, fair enough, excuse my narrow-mindedness, I'm sure they are great for their target audience. And they got in the very recent one, Pure Fury, which came out last week. Renato Ferres sent in the excellent Neo Geo Samurai Showdown collection, which is absolutely fabulous. This is the European Collector's Edition from Pix and Love Publishing. They put out some fantastic stuff. Retro Boy got in some nice imports, including 2 fantastic games from B-Side in Japan. They ain't cheap or easy to get a hold of, but boy are Golf Story and Kamiko properly gorgeous editions. I love them. Juice Gonzalez is a long-time viewer, first-time contributor, and they want to show off their nice collection, quality all round, some nice indies like Sparklight and Owlboy, mixed in with the big boys like Mario. James Church picked up some bargains, including the European exclusive Songbird Symphony. At least I don't think it ever did get a release in America. Let me know about that. E-Rock Z got in more early games, including Prinny 1 and 2, which is out in a day or two depending on your region. Lucky boy. Art Minus Me sent in this photo of some World of Final Fantasy love, something which I can't get enough of. I wish the Switch got a collector's edition like that. Executive producer God of Resin picked up some bargains. Aragami, a nice stealth game I reviewed. Took me back to a better time in gaming development, that one did. Not the best, but still a very, very solid effort. Captain Slow, glad to see he's keeping strongly to his 1 game per week policy, yeah? Love the Taiko drum game. It's so sad that the US missed out on that physical. Plus, nice to see something that I did not expect, Agatha Christie, ABC Murders. Nice. Goma showed off these games, including the US version of Ys Origin. I got my Asian version a few days ago, finally, after a mix-up. He also got in Helmet, because of course he did. Neverburst got in Moro from PlayAsia, Wonderful 101, the Kickstarter edition, and the Bad Boy edition of Captain Tsubasa. And this isn't even the biggest edition they had. Matthew Hutton showed off a double helping of Ys, one brand new, the other quite old, but still fetching a high price, perhaps even more than the new release. Marty Marl got in his delivery of the latest Shantae game from Limited Run, just ahead of the Asian release. They always do those quickly when there's competition. Shikification got in these fine games, one you don't see often at all, Reverie. It was a PlayAsia exclusive rather early on, so sold out a long time ago. I think it's even rarer to see the standard edition and not the collector's edition. It's Rain time. Rain showed off a bunch of great games. I love it when I see Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, such a great game, import exclusive, but does have English on the cartridge. One of my favorites, and I do rarely see it, probably because the price isn't as tempting, as some others, but still worth it for me. I love the game, I love the genre. Brent McLean sent in some nice game soundtracks. He knows I love video game music. Firstly, The Outer Wilds, which isn't on the Switch, but still apparently this vinyl has a really sweet twist to it that fits in with the theme of the game. Plus, Framed soundtrack, which is on the Switch. Feels like aeons ago that came out. Both of these were available from I Am 8-Bit. Sadly, both are now sold out. And finally, to end this week, we have Boombox, who got in 2 Shantae. It was also a surprise to find the Asterix and Obelix game in North America. Plus, there's good old Kunai, the limited run distribution game. Alright, thanks ladies and gents, it's always fantastic to see what you've got. Please send me your pics over on Twitter at SoWhatAboutGame. You can DM me so I can keep track of it, or you can tag me in a post and use the hashtag Let'sGetPhysical. and I'll give you a nice little retweet. Or you can email it into us at contactors@switchwatch.co.uk. Just make sure you start the email title with Community Spotlight so I don't miss that. Plus, we have a Discord where you can send your pictures in there in the submission section and have a nice little chat with us at the same time. The server link is below. Right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of New Physical. Special thanks to our executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Brent McLean, Jonathan Rumo, Gannikas, and all the others who have joined our memberships. We really appreciate you and your support. Check out last week's episode in case you missed it. Not many people saw that one. I think it's because Sean Bean said bastard a lot on YouTube, kind of got prude and stopped pushing it to people. But anyways, I hope you go and watch that, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.